This week on Down to Earth, fossil fuel poor Morocco has its eyes on a brighter future. The sun-soaked kingdom is banking on solar power.
We can call this project audacious. It will be, to put it simply, the biggest project known in the world today.
Morocco's electricity needs are surging. Abundant green resources bring a new source of power to the people.
Look what we used before. But that's finished now that we have solar.
Limitless horizons, the sun shines new light on the best way to reach water.
We can do everything with the sun. Everything.
This week we're down to earth in the Moroccan desert. I'm here in the blazing sun along with thousands of locals who've come to celebrate what is a rather big deal for the country. Right now the king is on his way to greenlight construction of a project that will finally tap into the enormous potential of this powerful Moroccan sun.
We've come here to welcome the king, God bless him. We hope he's going to create projects here in our city, so that we, the women, can be integrated into the society of Ouarzazate.
In this region we're missing many things, especially in terms of jobs. This is a good occasion to bring more work here, especially with the people of Ouarzazate.
This was rightly a welcome fit for a king. His Majesty Mohammed VI was in Ouarzazate to give this ceremony a royal touch. Symbolic as it was, the breaking of the ground kick-started Morocco's mighty plans for energy from the sun.
We can call this project large-scale. We can call it audacious, and we can also call it gigantic, because I believe once all the project phases are completed, it will be, to put it simply, the biggest project known in the world today. Imagine the world's most advanced and expensive solar technology and roll it into the one project. By 2020, this barren land will host 3,000 hectares of mirrors and generate 500 megawatts of electricity. The first phase alone, 630 million euros. Morocco is banking on solar power.
It shows that our country can design and develop big projects on a global scale. This is just an example, and we will meet again, God willing, to see other projects like this here in Morocco in the future.
Morocco has already tried out this technology 800 kilometres away in the northeast of the country.
We've come to Ain Beni Mata, close to the border with Algeria, and what I have behind me is 88 hectares of curved mirror, each one of them concentrating this blazing sunlight into electricity. And for the moment, this is the largest solar plant in Africa.
Row after row of identical structures, positioned to best capture the sun's rays. It's known as concentrated solar technology.
Looks very different to the solar panels we're used to seeing. How is this technology different?
Well, this technology is more efficient compared to photovoltaic cells because it allows us to capture the maximum amount of rays from the sun.
Simply, how does the technology work? What's happening here?
We can see here parabolic cylinder mirrors which allow us to reflect the rays onto a receptor tube which contains a special fluid. This will then be transported to a heat recovery system generator to produce electricity.
This technology is extraordinarily costly. Some question whether it's a wise investment. Its advantage, it can store energy and produce electricity several hours after the sun has set.
At the end of this process, the electricity is sent out via 3 high-voltage electrical cables. One line goes directly into the national grid, one line towards Oujda, and the other line towards Bourdim.
There are, however, certain areas where this electricity is out of reach, such as these isolated rural homes just a few kilometres from the plant at Ain Benimata. Here the answer is also solar. The authorities bring photovoltaics to the people, who pay the equivalent of €5 per month.
Look what we used before. But that's finished now that we have solar. We have electricity. We have television. My son and I like American action films. We watch them together. We can't imagine living without solar power because it's very difficult at night. We don't go out, so we watch television. It's the only way for us to be able to live.
Today, almost all Moroccans have access to electricity, but most of their energy arrives from hundreds or even thousands of kilometres away. The kingdom spends billions of euros on fossil fuel imports. With ample sunshine and wind, Morocco is now pinning its hopes and finances on exploiting renewable sources.
Le programme solaire marocain aujourd'hui aura un impact direct.
Morocco's solar program will have a direct and immediate impact on the environment once it's completed. This program is going to help Morocco avoid 3.7 million tonnes of CO2 emissions. It's also going to allow Morocco to reduce the consumption of combustible fossil fuels by the equivalent of 1 million tonnes of petrol each year. So the goal today is twofold: reduce our energy dependence, and at the same time reduce CO2 emissions and preserve the environment.
Among the project's financial backers are the World Bank, the African Development Bank and the European Investment Bank. The goal, 14% of energy from solar power by 2020. A long-term strategy which means investing in the next generation to see it through.
We have here an installation of concentrated photovoltaics. Even if we've imported the cells, Morocco can develop all the rest of the system: the optical system, the mechanical system, the electrical tracking system, which follows the direction of the sun. It's a tracker system which was developed by Moroccan engineering students.
Students like Khadija Qatari, who's enrolled in one of the most prestigious degrees in Morocco. The 22-year-old is part of a team made up of the country's brightest engineering students.
Hi Madi, hi Ruslan. Are you guys working?
Their latest project is an eco-friendly vehicle, but the next step is to make it run with the sun.
We've already done half the work. We've made the frame out of aluminium. We've thought about wheels that resist friction. We've done all the technical studies of a solar prototype, where we mention all the materials and references we're going to use. Now all we need to do is install everything and run some tests.
Her school has developed a major focused entirely on renewable energy.
I think next year I'm going to choose this option. It's the option of the future. Everyone thinks about solar cars. Everyone talks about solar cars.
At the same time, in another corner of the country, Noureddin Lamidi is ahead of the game.
These are potatoes, and what you can see there in dark green are prunes. And here we're going to plant melons and tomatoes.
This property is less than 1 kilometre from transmission towers, and yet it's too expensive to connect it to the grid. A year ago, this agricultural entrepreneur discovered it makes more sense to install his own solar panels, not seen around here before.
When I look at Germany, where they've perhaps not even 1/4 of the sun we have here, and we see solar panels everywhere, it means they don't want to lose any energy at all. Whereas in Morocco, we have sunlight galore, and we don't have that. It's really the world in reverse. I don't understand.
These panels produce 40 kilowatts of energy each day, enough to draw several hundred cubic meters of water from 130 meters below, using a solar pump.
Wow,
the water arrives initially here, where it's stored. We can store 9,000 cubic meters of water.
And is it clean?
Yes, it's clean water. We can drink it. We've analysed it. Not long ago, we wouldn't have imagined this, not even in our dreams. And now it's a reality.
Today, Noureddin irrigates his crops more effectively than when he used pumps run with diesel or butane. With his electricity bill now zero, he says he'll recover the hefty upfront cost of solar panels in a maximum of 5 years.
Even the most desertic regions are one day going to go green. Thanks to the sun. Thanks to God.
Noureddin is now trying to convince fellow farmers across the country to follow his lead. He has no reason to sing the praises of solar power, other than a wish for his kingdom to seek energy salvation in sunshine.